Hello everyone, my name is Nomis and welcome back to a second Season 4 preview video. I figured I'd do a little bit more in-depth video this time around than the just the general overview we had in the last video looking at the new occupations in Build 32. We will be starting up Season 4 of our Project Zomboid adventures. We're probably looking at the second week of June before I can start finding some time to record these episodes. But anyway, let's dig in here. I've put together a list of 5 different occupations and trait loadouts for our new season. And what I think we're going to do this time around, instead of just going off of the comments section, I'm going to actually put together a poll online. Link down in the description for everything that we're going to talk about in this video. There'll probably be, I think, 3 different polls. One for choosing a build, a character build, one for choosing a spawn location, and then one for just choosing the gender of our new hero, either male or female. So check the description for those links. I think I'm going to just leave it 1 vote per person. I may change that to multiple votes. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, let's jump into this here. So we're the first build I have here is an electrician. So that's one of the new occupations in Build 32. And here's how I set it up. I'm giving him him or her the thick-skinned trait and the handy trait for our positive ones. I figured handy probably makes sense for an electrician occupation. What do you guys think? And then to balance that out, we've got our high thirst slow healer. So going to take us a bit longer to recover from injuries and illnesses. I don't think we've used that one yet. Did we use that one with Susan? I'm not sure. But anyway, high thirst, slow healer, hardy appetite, and slow reader. I tried to keep it to kind of a minimum. I do, as much as some of you may not like the thick skin trait, some of you might think it was a bit too OP, seeing as how we used it with Wayne back in Season 2, and he survived for 109 episodes. But, you know, we used it for Susan. I think we used it for Susan and for Mary in Season 3, and, you know, both of them, they only lasted a couple dozen episodes, so I think we were just really lucky with Wayne. But anyway, that's the build for the electrician. Things to keep in mind here is we've got blade maintenance boost of 75%. So this would be, we're looking here at the bottom right for these, how we're going to be earning our skill points, how XP is going to be gained. So blade maintenance will be increased by 75%, blunt maintenance by 75%, carpentry as well 75%. That comes from the those 3 come from the handy trait, I should say, and electrical gets a boost of 125%. So electrical is a new trait, new skill specific to Build 32. So. Even if we don't go with the electrician, I believe there are going to be electrical books and magazines out in the world, skill books that we can read and gain boosts that way for whatever character we choose. This way with electrician, though, we get that 125% boost, pretty significant boost right off the bat. Okay, the second occupation build I came up with is the veteran occupation. We've had a couple suggestions at the end of the last 2 seasons to try out the veteran occupation, so we're going to throw this into the mix again, and you guys can vote on it if it's something you'd like to see in Season 4. So the veteran, something special about this occupation right off the bat is you start off with this desensitized trait. So it does not reach states of panic. So that'll definitely come in handy. There are a lot of trade-offs though with this occupation. We started at quite a deficit to begin with. So what I've done here for our traits, gone with thick-skinned again. runner, and cat's eyes. So I've kind of tried to go with traits that would make sense again for a veteran occupation. Perhaps he was a sniper or something, so he's got good vision at night. He's a runner. That fits in with like military training, that kind of stuff. To balance it out on the negative side, I gave him high thirst, slow healer again, hearty appetite, a slow reader. So that's all the same as we did with the electrician. The only difference is I've got all thumbs as well. So transfers inventory items slowly. And the way I rationalized this was perhaps he was injured in whatever war he was fighting, so he's not as nimble with his hands as he used to be. Maybe he's got a little bit of PTSD. So anyway, that's this build. For our bonuses here down at the bottom, we're looking at 100% for aiming, 100% for reloading, and a 75% boost for sprinting. So obviously he's going to be good with his guns, and we'll get a little bit of boost to our sprinting skill right off the bat, and hopefully we can use that to level up our sprinting a lot sooner. Our third build here is another subscriber suggested build. This is something that Christian uses, and they suggested that we perhaps give this a shot in a future season. So here we go. This is what they set their character up as. So we got the fire officer, and they gave them cat eyes, lucky, fit, stout, thick-skinned. And they said that this is a powerhouse build if we're looking to kill a lot of zombies with melee weapons. We'll have a strong character who doesn't get tired, is a little bit lucky, and can keep swinging and smashing zombies. To balance that out, we've got high thirst, slow learner, so decreased XP gains. So this will make learning, upgrading our skills a little bit more tedious. So it'll probably be a little bit more work on my end in between episodes, but that's alright. Hearty appetite, hemophobic, so panic when performing first aid on self. Cannot perform first aid on others. That doesn't really matter for us right now, as we won't be playing multiplayer. Although I do want to be able to start a multiplayer let's play at some point here in the near future. We've also got weak stomach, higher chance to have food illness, and slow reader, takes longer to read books. So the main thing to consider with this one is smashing zombies. Is that worth waiting longer to upgrade all our skills? The only skill that really we won't need to worry as much about is our sprinting, which is getting a 75% boost in this build as well. The fourth build that I've come up with here involves the Carpenter occupation. I believe this is another new occupation that was included in the build 31 update. So we've got, to start things off on the positive side, we've got cat's eyes and wakeful. So we'll be able to see better at night and won't need quite as much sleep. Thick-skinned again, handy, which goes with a carpenter trait or occupation, I think, and strong, which also goes with the carpenter background. I think that makes sense. So with strong, we get a +4 strength boost instead of the +2, I believe, which you get with stout. So this should also help us with our melee skills. Hopefully we won't be caught in any of those dozen or more swing battles with zombies that we tend to find ourselves in more often than not. To balance this out on the negative side, we've got high thirst, slow healer, hearty appetite, hemophobic, weak stomach, all thumbs, and slow reader. So you kind of notice I'm kind of stuck on a rut with picking the same negative traits, but I don't know. It's like some of these other negative traits, I don't think they don't really look good for a playthrough, like for a let's play, unless it's a specifically going to be a crappy let's play where it's going to be like frustrating. But anyway, that's this build. On our skill boosts, we're looking at 75% boost to both our blade and blunt maintenance, and a 125% boost to our carpentry skill. So that those three come from our handy skill or a trait that we're using, and I think the carpentry is also getting a boost from being a carpenter, which makes sense. Now our last build that we have available here, or that I've come up with, is pretty much the exact same as the carpenter build. All we're doing is switching the occupation over to a burger flipper. Uses all the same traits and positive and negative traits that we used for the carpenter. And the only thing different here is instead of the 125% boost to our carpentry skill, that's brought down to a 75%. That is what we get with the handy perk here. And because we're being a burger flipper, we get a 100% boost to our cooking skill. So that might come in handy. Start at level 2, and you get that 100% boost on top of that. So those are the 5 builds I've come up with, guys. Check out the link to the poll in the description below, I should say. Cast your vote. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we've probably got a couple weeks, maybe 10, 11 days, probably close to a couple weeks though, before we actually start this upcoming season. So you got lots of time to cast your vote. Tell your friends if they're interested in this game. It's not only open to subscribers, it's open to anyone who wants to vote. And I think a couple of days before I actually end up recording, I'll let you know what or that the poll is going to be closed, and then we'll go from there. But like I said, guys, there'll be a poll for these builds, for the spawn location. The 2 options that we're going to have for spawn location are going to be New Denver, which is one of those community maps, and West Point. I think we're going to be doing Season 4 8 months after the start of the apocalypse, so we haven't tried that yet. So we're going to make it a little bit harder on ourselves, but those are going to be our 2 spawn locations. I will load in the Dreadwood map, but as far as I know, you can't set up a spawn location in Dreadwood. You have to travel there from either West Point or Muldra. And I did check with New Denver just to test, and we can actually spawn right in New Denver. Before, I think you just spawned in Muldra and you had to walk there, but we can spawn directly in New Denver now. So that'll be the second poll, and then the third poll, like I mentioned before, will be if you guys want to see a male or female protagonist. We've had a couple of each so far in previous seasons, so I'll let you guys decide on pretty much anything you want for this new season. So that does it for this episode, guys. Tried to keep it a little bit short, but as always, things go a little bit longer than expected. So thanks for hanging in there. Leave me a comment below. Head over to those polls, cast your vote, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Stick around for Season 4, and until next time, I'll talk to you all later.